get my back blown out in peace. You think I got time to talk about a divorce that's a year old?
When Aaron Pierre stepped on stage that night, nobody expected the storm that was about to follow. The crowd was buzzing, lights flashing, and the cameras were already rolling. But when he paused mid-speech, smiled nervously, and said, "I think it's time I stop hiding who she is to me." The internet froze, because everyone knew exactly who he was talking about: Teyana Taylor. That moment lit social media on fire. Fans screamed, hashtags blew up, and within minutes, clips of Aaron's confession spread across every platform. But what no one was ready for was Iman Shumpert's reaction. The man who once called Teyana the love of his life suddenly found himself watching another man claim her, publicly, boldly, and with no hesitation, for weeks. People had been speculating about Teyana and Aaron's closeness. They'd been spotted at events, whispering during photo shoots, and even laughing together in interviews. Still, everyone thought it was just friendship, or maybe work-related chemistry. But when Aaron called her the woman who makes him feel at peace, the room went silent. He wasn't talking about just admiration. This was love. Real, raw, unapologetic love. Teyana's reaction backstage only fueled the flames. Cameras caught her covering her face, blushing and whispering to someone next to her, "Oh my God, he didn't just do that." But it was too late. The world had already seen it. And before the night ended, Aaron and Teyana became the top trending topic worldwide. Meanwhile, Iman was at home, scrolling through his phone, trying to stay composed. Sources close to him said he looked frozen, watching the clip over and over again. Some claim he threw his phone against the wall. Others say he just laughed. That kind of bitter, pained laugh when you realize the chapter you tried to hold on to is officially closed. But the truth is, this wasn't just about a man being replaced. This was about a story that had been building up for months. A story of heartbreak, denial, and two people who fell apart in front of millions. Teyana and Iman's marriage had always been one of Hollywood's most talked about love stories. From their family reality show to their red carpet appearances, they looked unbreakable. But behind closed doors, things weren't picture perfect. Rumors of distance, arguments, and emotional disconnection had been swirling for over a year. Then came the separation announcement. It wasn't messy, at least not publicly. Teyana had posted a heartfelt note saying there was no infidelity, no villains, just two people growing apart. Fans praised her for her maturity, and Iman stayed silent. But silence can speak louder than words, especially when your ex starts showing up with someone new, and that someone happens to be one of the rising stars in Hollywood. Aaron Pierre, known for his charm and deep emotional presence on screen, wasn't just another actor in Teyana's circle. They'd met during a film project, and what started as on-screen chemistry slowly turned into something more personal. Insiders whispered that Aaron had been there for Teyana during her hardest moments. The nights she cried over the media. The days she struggled to rebuild herself as a single woman and mother. He wasn't loud about it. He didn't post cryptic captions or show off flashy gestures, but his presence was constant, quiet, steady, loyal, and that's what made his public confession hit differently. It wasn't just another Hollywood stunt. It was a man putting his heart out there, knowing exactly what kind of chaos it would cause. Because claiming Teyana Taylor wasn't just about love, it was about stepping into the shadow of a man like Iman Shumpert. A man whose ego, pride, and history were tied deeply to her name. Within hours of Aaron's statement, Iman's team started getting calls. Paparazzi were outside his house, and online gossip sites were already labeling him as the ex who got replaced live on stage. For someone who had built his image on confidence and control, that had to sting. A few hours later, Iman finally broke his silence. He posted a single story, just a black screen with the words, "Keep it. I'm done fighting for what's already gone." It wasn't long before blogs picked it up, dissecting every word, every emotion behind that sentence. Was he heartbroken, angry, or just finally letting go? But things didn't stop there. Teyana, known for her fiery personality, didn't take long to respond, though not directly. She posted a video of herself in the studio, singing a new song that fans immediately linked to the situation. The lyrics were raw, about love, pain, and finding peace after betrayal. One line in particular stood out: "You don't lose me when I'm gone. You lose me when I stop caring." It felt like a message, not just to Iman, but to everyone who had doubted her strength. The tension between the three only grew when Teyana and Aaron were spotted together days later at a charity event. They weren't trying to hide anymore. She wore his jacket, and at one point, he reached over and wiped something off her cheek. A small, intimate gesture that made fans lose their minds. But behind the glitz and viral moments, there was something deeper happening. Teyana's daughter, Junie, had been caught in the middle of this emotional whirlwind. Paparazzi photos showed her looking confused during a recent outing with her mom and Aaron. People couldn't help but wonder, how was this new chapter affecting her? Insiders say Iman's reaction after seeing those photos was heartbreaking. He reportedly told friends, "I just hope she knows I'll always be her dad. No matter what." That line alone broke the internet. Fans started flooding his page with support, telling him to stay strong, while others defended Teyana, saying she deserved to find happiness again. But as the story developed, it became clear this wasn't a simple love triangle. It was a battle of pride, perception, and pain. Aaron, who had once been the quiet observer, was now thrust into the spotlight. Interviewers started asking him about his relationship, and though he tried to stay respectful, his answers carried weight. During one interview, when asked if he was afraid of the backlash, Aaron smiled and said, "I'd rather be honest about how I feel than pretend just to keep people comfortable." That line sent shockwaves through social media. People called him brave. Others called him reckless. But one thing was certain. He had claimed Teyana with full confidence, and there was no turning back. Meanwhile, Iman began posting cryptic messages about betrayal and loyalty. One night, he went live. And for the first few minutes, he didn't even speak. He just sat there, looking straight into the camera, music playing softly in the background. Then finally, he said, "It's funny how people move when they think you're no longer watching." He didn't mention names, but everyone knew who he meant. The live ended abruptly, leaving fans with more questions than answers. Was he planning to fight for Teyana? Was he hurt? Or was he simply trying to remind everyone that he wasn't done processing the pain? Teyana, on the other hand, seemed unbothered, at least publicly. She continued posting clips of her music rehearsals, fashion shoots, and time with her kids. But in one rare, candid moment, a fan caught her looking emotional, wiping her eyes while sitting in her car. It was clear that despite her confidence, this whole situation had taken a toll on her too. Behind the scenes, friends close to her revealed that she still respected Iman deeply, that she never wanted things to get messy. But at the same time, she couldn't keep pretending to be okay with people misreading her story. She had moved on, and she wanted peace. As for Aaron, he was ready to face whatever came with his decision. The media started comparing him to Iman, two men from completely different worlds, both deeply tied to one woman who had become the center of their storm. But Aaron's calmness in interviews, his quiet strength, and the way he treated Teyana made it hard not to root for him. Still, not everyone was happy. Iman's fans began accusing Aaron of disrespecting boundaries, of moving too fast, too publicly. Some even dug up old interviews, claiming that Aaron had once admired Teyana long before they met, turning it into a narrative of obsession. But the truth, according to people close to them, was much simpler. Aaron had fallen for Teyana the way people fall for sunsets, slowly, unexpectedly, but completely, and that love, no matter how controversial, was real. Weeks later, Iman finally addressed everything in a podcast interview. For the first time, he spoke without anger. He admitted that yes, it hurt to see someone else step into his place, but he also said something that stunned everyone. If she's happy, then maybe that's how it was meant to be. I can't control life. I can only learn from it. That honesty earned him respect from even those who had criticized him before. It was a moment of closure, not just for Iman, but for everyone who had watched their love story unfold and fall apart. By the time the year ended, Teyana and Aaron had become one of Hollywood's most talked about couples. They attended events together, supported each other's projects, and even did a joint interview where Teyana smiled and said, "Sometimes, the peace you prayed for doesn't come the way you expected, but it comes." The world had seen them both break, heal, and rebuild, in their own ways. And while the internet continues to debate who was right or wrong, one thing remains certain. This wasn't a simple celebrity drama. It was a story about love, timing, and the courage to move forward even when the world is watching. And as Aaron once said on that unforgettable night, the words that started it all, "I think it's time I stop hiding who she is to me." Now, the whole world knows exactly who she is to him, and maybe, just maybe, that's the peace they were both searching for.